Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, have a good time of the day. Good day to you. Or welcome you to the 3D Islam channel. We decided to make a great video about the Ark. Of course, some will say, why are we talking about it again? Let's not do hasty conclusions and make a little comparison of Ararat or Hindu. Then there is a Chechnya saying at once, I'm not saying 100% that the Ark is in Chechnya. I just can't speak with the 100% confidence. Allah Alim knows better. I can only guess. And so proceed to not to lodge a study. Open the Google Earth app of the Earth search engine which drive in the coordinates of the which is located on the mountain Ararat. And we get immediately to the Ararat Ark. And now we look at how far is the ark from Mount Ararat using the tool ruler. Not the ark itself is located at a distance from the mountain Ararat in the region of 30 kilometers. Is also looking at the small Ararat. It turns out about 28 kilometers. You can check it yourself. Now turn to 3D relief. Let's assume the ship stopped at the top point of Ararat, and after several tens of thousands of years, the surface of the earth carried him down. Of course, I'm not a geologist and not an expert in this matter. I just try more or less adequately look at the things. In my opinion, the ship would have kept that shape. And there is another interesting point. If we look in the opposite direction of Ararat, we see that there is also small elevation. And judging by these tracks, landslides or have a correctly called rain-washed ground, that is the feeling that this object it was affirmed or slipped from this side and not from Ararat. Further, in the Google search engine we drive in the word Noah's Ark Wikipedia, scroll down the page and read what a Bible says God commanded. That the length of the ark be 300 cubits, 133.5 meters. He also commanded Noah make a hole in the ark in the elbow 52 centimeters. Will result to help calculate 52 centimeters multiply 3000 equals 15,600 centimeters. There is a little difference. Wikipedia says 130.5 and we get 156, but oh well, not a big. The difference is now measured by Ararat ark itself, and we also have a water on the calculator. The same figures are 156 meters. We look further at the width of the ark, 50 elbows, 22 meters. Open our calculator and drive in the 52 centimeters, multiply by 50 equals, it turns out 26 meters, but for some reasons there is again in Wikipedia defect. 22. We have a 26 go to the ark and measure. It turns out that biblical dimensions correspond with this ark, and what happens is beads are wider than our desired size. We will write this down to deformation programs of the case. And here I decided to model the Ararat ark with the programs for the modeling cinema 4D dimensions of this model mat. A centimeter to a centimeter, everything fit, and so take the figure by 50,600 centimeters long, and we drive into this field. As you notice, the cube stretched across the length of the model. The following figures are 2,600 with the spread across width of the cube corresponds to the size of the our model. Temporarily disable the arc model to make it easier to work. Let's imagine that this yellow plane in this space inside an arc 26 meters wide over a length of 156 meters. We create another cube. Let's also imagine that this space is allocated by each animals or period, and we give it this cube dimensions meter by meter. Imagine one pair of animals are placed in this square meter. One square meter you say because elephants or hippos or large animals aren't fitting one square meter. It's just that I choose the average value for convenience of all and the counting middle ground. So let's say rearing the clown box between 2500 in the width of the arc and the length 15,500, the number of squares in the width of 25 and a length of 150. As we see, the whole cube is filled with squares. Each square is a conditional space for a couple. Go to the website and see how many species of animals inhabit our planet, not species. We aren't interested in the total number of invertebrate arthropods. We need vertebrates, are reptiles and mammals, and so we are with you. We see that mammals 4,175 species and reptiles 70,984 species. This is not to mention those species that have disappeared from our planet. Well, now let's calculate how many species will fit on the arc. A found of Ararat 25 squares in the width, 150 in the length, 3,750 species, 4,475 mammal species don't fit in this arc. And if we will include the model of the arc, then we see that the outline or form of the arc leaves behind a small number of squares. Let's create plank according to the arc found in Chechnya in the width 600 meters, 60,000 centimeters, and the length of 1,200 meters is 120,000 centimeter. Here we have a 3,750 square. That is the species. We multiply by 2, we get 7,500 species. We multiply by 2 equals 50,000 species. I repeat, in each squares in feet, one pair of animals. A little earlier, for 1,475 mammals added to 70,984 reptiles. 1,459 species of mammals and reptiles in the location taken. We 50,000 species in the Chechnya were placed on the ark, food and water, storage space. So we make a reasonable conclusions. And I also want to add when I was a little about 30 years ago, I heard this phrase from the old people. We all went down from the mountain. At the time, I haven't paid much attention to these words today. But now hearing and seeing the supposed ark, I suspect why they are so talked. And one more thing, like I read in the comments and heard what they say, maybe this isn't an ark. But what kind of fortress was built by ancient people? I will say, I was on this object, and inside this object, so this object stands at the slope of a 5-10 degrees buried bow of full. And that more interesting is the whole structure of the beams inside this object also under the same angle. And I have one question. Who could build fort in this form? And certainly not by level. And by the end of this video, I'd like to say, dear brothers and sisters, subscribers and viewers of the channel 3D Islam, everyone can himself check it. This information I can say with the 100% confidence anything. The knowledge of this all belongs to Allah, the Lord of worlds. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to like and leave comment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Thank you.
Не устал? Твердый, Юля, мягкий юз. Да, я смотрю, что пыль от него не идет.